Hello everyone, welcome to the Ichimoku daily analysis for gold for Tuesday, June the 16th. Well, an interesting day today. It seems as though the cloud, or the Kumo, is holding as some sort of support here for the market. The market has had a positive bias to it, as evidenced by the green candle. Now, the problem is the market has closed roughly mid-range, and that means that by the time the market closed, neither buyers nor sellers took control of the market. Now remember though that over the last 2 days, with these very large-bodied red candles closing down near the lows, the sellers were in control and the sellers were committed. So the sellers have lost that control, so that's quite important for this market. So there is a chance that the market has an opportunity to start trending back up in a first time frame uptrend. Now, quite often what we see when we have a break of the head and shoulders pattern is that we have the break to the downside, and then there's a retracement back up to the neckline. So that is a strong possibility over the next day or so. What we need to do is then watch the market and see how it reacts around that neckline. Once it trades up there, the following day, if we see some bearishness coming in again, it's another sell signal opportunity. So just be aware of that could happen over the next few days. Now, this type of candle pattern is very close to being a harami pattern, and that's where the body of the current candle is within the body of the previous candle. We don't have a change of trend at the moment, but the configuration of that we like for the downtrend of the lower high and lower low is not in place anymore either. So confirmation of the harami pattern would be the high of the current candle being taken out to the upside. So there is a chance that we will have that retracement back up to the neckline. Now, just looking at our other Ichimoku indicators, if we look at the Tenkan Sen, that's the fast line, the green line, we can see that it's turned down, and it has quite a sharp angle, which means that there's quite a fairly strong downside momentum to this market. Now we know that in fast-moving markets, the Tenkan Sen tends to act as support or resistance. So we can see here, when we had a very strong second time frame uptrend with a lot of momentum, that on 1, 2, 3 occasions, the Tenkan Sen has held as support. Now what we'd expect is that if this market starts to retrace up here, the Tenkan Sen will continue down on its way, and there's a very strong chance that the Tenkan Sen, the position that it'll be in, will roughly coincide with where the neckline will be. So if this market does retrace back up to the neckline, there's a very, very strong possibility that the Tenkan Sen will be within that vicinity, and then it will act as an area of resistance, and it may provide another selling opportunity for this market to trade down towards the Kumo. Now we know, as we've seen before, that the Kumo acts as support or resistance, and in this case it's acting as support. Just on this occasion, it wasn't strong enough for the market to start trending up straight away, but that is still a possibility. If the market does continue trading down, we have this part of the Kumo here, the flat part of the Kumo, and that tends to attract price action. So there's a very strong chance that the market will trade down to around this area. Now just looking even further forward, if we do trade down to that area, there's a very strong chance it will take out the cloud and trade down to the bottom. And that's because this area here, the Kumo, is becoming very, very thin. And we know that it acts as support or resistance, so we'd be looking for it to act as support. Now, anywhere within the Kumo can act as support. In this situation, we have a large Kumo, so we have a very large area that can act as support. In this case, though, coming up over the next week or so, we have a very thin Kumo, and it gets very, very thin. So there's an opportunity for this market to trade to the downside, break out to the downside, which is quite a bearish signal if that happens. If the market trades out down below the Kumo, then we'd probably expect the market to be trading down to around these levels here, these levels of support down here. But that's still a fair way off. we'll probably see that within the next week or so, if that does eventuate. And it all depends probably on whether this market rallies up to around this area and sells off. Now, we still haven't had the crossover of the Tenkan Sen and the Kijun Sen yet, but that's likely to occur within the next few days if the market does continue down on its downtrend. Now, also, if the market does rally up through the neckline, then we have this area of resistance up around here, around 967, and then higher. So a lot of resistance for the market to trade up above, but we do have a definite boundary here by the Kumo, so we do have a range that the market can trade in. So interesting times over the next few days.